Welcome to the world away.
Travel tales to inspire your wanderlust.
Hi everyone, welcome to the world awaits.
I bet you thought Kirsty had a really, really bad head cold, but or you're on the wrong cold. It's me, Belle here, but with me today in our studio, well, not in the studio at all because we're never together, is our audio producer for the world awaits, also a prolific music media reviewer and tech reviewer, Alaisdair Leith. So he is riding shotgun with me today.
Hello, it's so good to be back. It feels like it's been a very long time.
It has, yeah. It's been absolutely ages. I mean, you're always behind the scenes, tinkering away with the podcast. But I like, come on, chat about the movies that you've been seeing and tech as well, which is what we're going to do because that's why we've called you on today, is to talk about the things that we should be buying our travel-loving friends for Christmas. Because like you, like me, you probably haven't bought all your Christmas presents yet. Have you bought yours? Are you done?
No. What about you? Where are you up to?
Oh God, no, I haven't done a single thing. I mean, we had our Kris Kringle for our my extended family, but everybody either brings chocolates or alcohol, and that's about it. So
Right.
sometimes pick through the wine and try to find something really interesting. And I did go for a couple of Victorians because I was being very patriotic. So had a little number from I love this label. It's by Sal's Wines. They're on the road outside going up from Melbourne to Sydney, about an hour out, and they have a label called Ladies Who Shoot Their Lunch. And the label, all of that wine series have got women in 1920s dungarees with hunting rifles. And I'm like, I identify with that. I'm like, bring that wine to me. So that was my contribution. So, but before we get into the tech guide and let's all cry about the things that we haven't got organized before the end of the year, we've got a really great holiday hack for you, which this is prepping for next year's travel. So the trend is actually called holiday maxing, so which is the art of maximizing your holidays. So you get more time off, but without a whacking great pay cut. So lead us in, Alaisdair.
Look, I'm guilty of this. If my boss is listening, he will be laughing, going, Alaisdair does this every single year. When we're back in January, I send through my leave for the entire year, and it revolves around public holiday every year. Every year. It's just how you got to do it.
So if you haven't organized this for Christmas yet, tell us about how you can, if you are able to sneak it in. You were talking about getting organized for the whole year, but what if Christmas is up and you haven't got your shifts organized?
So look, Christmas this year, and I only realized this last week, is on a Thursday. So 25th of December is a Thursday. Boxing Day is on Friday. And then the 1st of January as well is another public holiday. So look, you've got 7 days of annual leave. So you've got the 22nd till the 24th of December, and then the 29th till the 31st of December. And the 2nd of January gives you a whopping 16-day break from Saturday, the 20th of December, right through till Sunday, the 4th of Jan.
Amazing. Yeah. The trick is you've got to find where to go for that now, because it is getting kind of late to be booking stuff. But that's how you can get 16 days from Saturday, the 20th of December through to Sunday, the 4th of January, if you haven't already workshopped it. So I'm actually looking forward to the next one, which is Australia Day. Sure. This is incredible because you could take 4 days of annual leave and get 9 days off, straight off the cuff. If you didn't get yourself organized for Christmas and you're actually working the shifts in between, then this is the one you need to be working on next. So the public holiday, of course, hits on Monday, the 26th of January, which is like an automatic long weekend, right? So if you take 4 annual leave days from Tuesday, the 27th to Friday, the 30th, you've got 9 days off from the 24th of January to the 1st of February, which is a cracker, because then, of course, you're out of the school. The peak season is closing down because the schools have gone back, and they always say that the best weather happens in Victoria anyway, the week that the kids go back to school.
Right.
Okay, so get the diaries out. Where do we go next?
All right. So Easter. So 10 days off with just 4 days of annual leave. This is my favorite one. So Good Friday is the 3rd of April. Easter Monday is the 6th of April. So you can have 4 leave days from Tuesday, the 7th of April, till Friday, the 10th of April, and enjoy a 10-day break from the 3rd to the 12th. Now, if you are in the lovely, lovely state of Tasmania, public service employees also have Easter Tuesday as a public holiday. How do we advocate for that here? So they only need 3 annual leave days. That's
No.
crazy.
Oh my goodness. So I think you've got to get the diary out and work out those other, the long weekend hacks. You've got King's
That's
Birthday.
always a good interstate trip, that one. If you use that hack, a good 10-day break is a good go to Queensland. It's starting to get a bit cooler here. So chill up there, get some last bit of summer sun.
Yeah, to keep that tan going through the winter of discontent. We've got all of those long weekends too happening all around, for the weigh-in, for the rest of the months like June, you've got the King's Birthday. It's still weird saying that actually instead of the Queen's Birthday. Yeah, I know it's still kind of weird. King's Birthday on Monday, the 8th of June. So that gives you an automatic long weekend, except if you're in Queensland because they have this in October and September in WA. Take the Friday off, then you take all of the Monday, and then you've got that 4-day weekend. Put the extra couple of days in there, 4 days, and then you've got a 9-day consecutive holiday. Labor Day holidays as well, which are all over the shop. I mean, you've got that's in March in Victoria, yay, and in Tassie, and in October in New South Wales. Honestly, Labor Day, I never understood it. But and if you're in Melbourne, because I am and you are, remember Alaisdair Cup Day, love Cup Day because it's on a Tuesday. Everybody bunks off on the Monday. I mean, I think the schools have just given up because most school was like, we're not even turning up on Monday. So you've got 4-day weekends there. So we took those extra 3 days. You've got the Monday and the Tuesday off. We took the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Again, 9 days holiday to play with, and you're only taking 3 days of annual leave. That's how I got to the Maldives just recently without everybody schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Just worked it out over that long 9 days. Flew out on Friday afternoon and got back on Sunday, exhausted for work and school on the Monday, but nobody cares because you've come back looking fabulous and tanned and refreshed and flying around the world.
I mean, everyone's
Still living on it, baby. Still living on it. So have you got any actual plans locked in for 2026?
Look, nothing's locked. I have an open ticket. So I shall be going somewhere at some point. I did have a trip planned for earlier this year that I had to obviously postpone because you have to move house and you just don't think about how much it costs to move house and not even financially, mentally draining it is. So I'm looking at the first year. I think over Christmas I'll be locking in some plans. But I'm up to very high level on Duolingo with my Spanish. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident to go somewhere and I can at least ask for a coffee and directions to a hotel if I need to.
Because you were looking at Colombo, weren't you?
Yeah.
Colombia. Is it going to happen?
And then moving happened. So now I'm kind of back to the drawing board. What do I actually want to do? And all I need to do is listen to 120 episodes of The World Awaits for inspiration and advice. What about you, Belle? What are your travel plans for 2026?
Well, look, I don't want to bring it up again, but I'm going to bring it up again. When I won the Travel Writer of the Year award, hair swap, I actually won. I had to say hair toss because you can't see me tossing it, but Alaisdair can. I actually, the prize for that was from Virgin Australia, and it was 2 business class tickets anywhere on their short haul domestic or short haul international flight. So unfortunately, it meant I can't go to Doha because I would naturally go. I'll be back and straight into the Middle East. But they go. They as well as flying all around Australia, they go into the Pacific. They go. They're into Fiji. and I think New Caledonia as well. So
Fiji could be nice.
Fiji could be nice. Yeah, I'm just, you got to weigh it up. Our business class ticket, is that long enough? Do I just want to
Oh yeah,
get
what's
the longest
the
flight?
thing work? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm workshopping that. Then actually,
Your holidays?
well, I'm personally really bummed actually that Virgin isn't flying to Japan anymore. I don't know why, considering the numbers are just, it's really rude. But that would have been my first call. I wanted to do some off-piste. Everyone talks about the overcrowding in Japan, but really a lot of that's centered around the big hubs of Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. And then outside that, I've spoken to so many regional tourism boards who are like, please come down here, come to our little joint, and we want some of that overcrowding. So
Nagoya. Go to Nagoya.
I haven't been to Nagoya, and I don't really ski. I'm a shocking skier. I'm embarrassing. So I just shame myself. So I wouldn't go there for the ski. But I'm hoping, I'm hoping to get back into the Middle East. Of course, I'll be back there at some point to at least to hang out in Egypt, to see family, and just update all of my product knowledge there. Yeah, I've got a few places. My brother is in Estonia at the moment, so I may go over and visit him in Estonia, because the other one's in Sweden, which is just across the ditch. It's 45 minutes away. So if that meant that we had to meet in Finland, I'd be okay with that.
Oh, you could do that. Easy.
I could do that. Yeah, I just got to save up a bit more. Buy me a coffee on coffee.com.
All right, let's get into our Christmas guide for tardy travelers. So, look, I feel like so much has changed in travel tech this year when it came to choosing. It really is, I'm saying, back to basics, but some of the basic things are infused with tech to elevate them to a must-have item. But before I get stuck in, I know that you love a bag.
Oh, love a good bag.
So I know you have one. So please lead us in with up bag 2026.
Oh, the must-have bag for 2026. I've got an actual example, but it is a trend. It is a bag trend, and a growing trend. And look, I'm actually going to attribute this to a former guest on The World Awaits, which is Kevin Maloney of the Channel 9 series Travel Guides. Kevin, love Kevin. He's such a great guy. And you never know where he and Jet are going to be in the world, because the incredible thing is when they're filming that show, they just get told to turn up at the airport and given a list of degrees, temperatures of where they're going to be, and they have to pack their bags for that. So, so they don't know where they are. But and they also don't know where they're going to stay. So they could be staying at the Bellagio, or they could be staying, which is the last time I saw them when we were both on the road, was in the back end of nowhere in Borneo, in Malaysian Borneo, which was completely random. And they were staying in some tree houses. And what he said to me was, they never ever carry with a suitcase that opens in the clamshell format that we've seen has become so popular in the last decade. He said he always travels with a top opening suitcase. So that was the way that suitcases used to be. They had a lid and then they had a big base underneath them. So the problem with those clam ones that you've got, like if you are like my husband and like to travel kind of heavy, like shocking overpacker, because he doesn't have three shirts. Oh my goodness, 3 shirts a day. We have a running joke, actually. He literally packs 3 shirts for a day. So if he's away for 10 days, he has 30 shirts in his bag. But the problem is, oh my goodness, it's terrible. So the problem is, you go to your hotel, put your bag down, and you put it on those flimsy little weird bag stands. When you open it, you can't hold the whole thing. Like, it doesn't hold it open. So you've got to keep shutting up, or you prop it up against the wall. If you have a top opening suitcase, you're just unzipping that top level, flipping it up, and then you've got all of your suitcase underneath it. And so I was looking around for them, and the best one that I found that does not take up that precious real estate in your hotel room, which is what Kevin and I were talking about, was I went to Zoom Light, which is an Australian brand. It's actually a Melbourne brand. It has been producing suitcases in here. Where they designed them in Melbourne. They're made overseas. Put a confessional on this one. The suitcase that then they have been working on these ones so that you can either open them for the zip that falls about, or you do the top opening on them. You can do them either way. So their Glide suitcases come in a carry-on. They've got a medium size, and then they've got the large coffin size, which is the size that my husband's looking at. Beautiful colorways, like, that sort of soft beige that a lot of people are looking at, the gentle, light, dusty pinks and pebbled. They've also got a really smart midnight navy that I have been crushing on, and I have been putting it to the test. They've got the gold standard in wheels. They've got 4 wheels on the suitcase. These are these Japanese Hinoko wheels. The thing about the Zoom Light is they don't sell in stores, so you won't see them in stores. So they sell direct to consumers. So you've got to order from their website, but they do have a 100-day return policy. And if you want to return the suitcase, if it's new, if you haven't, of course, taken it to the Maldives or something like that and bobbed it up, they will actually send you a label to send it back. So you're not thinking, I can't return it because it's going to cost me $70 to send it back.
Yeah.
Incidentally, in that range, the Glide range, they have one called the Glide Light, which is the lightest carry-on case in Australia, they tell me, at just 2 kilos. I know. Amazing. So I would totally have a look at Zoom Light. So zoomlight.com.au, and the Glide is an absolute banger. So I think that is my top bag tip for you.
Love it.
There you go. So now, you tell me then, because you're the tech guy, and the thing that I have actually lost 3 sets of these this year. Tell me what you want.
Offline or earbuds are we talking about?
Go and tell me your first tip. Tell me your first tip.
All right. So this is the Tim Kettle translation earbuds. Now I will be completely upfront. It does use AI. However, this could be AI finally used for something good. So the earbuds have 42 languages built in, and they can detect 95 accents and dialects. So basically the idea is you give one earbud to the person you're talking to, and you keep one in your ear. You can have a conversation in your native language, and the earbud will translate both ways.
So it's like Babel fish, like, the Babel fish from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you stuck a fish in your ear and it just translated everything.
I hate to say it is very similar. So if you're off to Sardinia in a pinch and you're only on level 5 on your Duolingo Italian lessons, this could be a lifesaver for you. I don't know, I find this intriguing. Google and Apple both have their own kind of translation apps on their phones. So you can do this already on your phone. However, you may not have phone signal, or you may not have enough data to do that translation. And these earbuds don't require a 5G connection or any kind of data. So it's all built in. So you don't need that connection for this to happen. So
amazing.
It's a really good thing for you if you're off somewhere quickly, or you've made a decision and you just can't have someone with you to translate. This would be a really easy way, to get around without, difficulty. Now it does come in 2 models. So there is, these earbuds, which are around about 400 AUD. And then there is a more, we'll say, economical model. And instead of using earbuds, it uses a little screen, not too much bigger than a phone. And that is around about $300 AUD. So it's not a huge difference. It just depends on, what you're looking for.
And where do you buy them from?
So you can either buy them direct from Tim Kettle, but you can also buy them on Amazon. And they are I think, when I did this, they were on special, but that was over Black Friday. But yeah, regular, they, go around the 400. For the earbuds, 300 for the screen version.
Amazing, because there are some languages that are really tricky. And Czech, I'm looking at you because they say that the Czech language is the hardest language in the world to learn, even harder than like Japanese, which is difficult to read, but easy to pick up on first pronunciation. Wow, amazing! I love it. Well, that is a fantastic. It's just kind of a little bit mind blowing, and we're going to put these in the show notes as well. And you can see we'll put photos on the socials too.
Now, speaking of traditional things that you talk about, it was no surprise for me to hear that you had a hat.
Oh, am I that cliched? Because I love this hat. Like I love it. I love it so much. I cannot stop recommending it enough. It is a game changer in hats. This is the if you know flexi braid, it is a fabric that's been developed in Australia to create a crushable hat. The designer is a very clever woman, and who's given a name to the label, tinaMcopenhagen.com.au. That look, the reason I love this hat so much is that usually when you're traveling with a hat that you really like, you don't want it to get crushed, so you put it in your overhead luggage, and then you leave it there, and you never see it again, and it just circles around and around the world until it finds a lost property to live in and decompose for the rest of time.
Sounds brilliant.
Well, because this one you can just shove it in your luggage, it pops up literally new when you reach your destination. So you're never going to leave it there. The group makes hats under a number of different labels, including stuff for the Cancer Council. So you've got the fact that it's got the 50+ sun protection, which for me, like you, Alaisdair, I mean, we are whiteys, we are like look at the sun, watch them burn. Absolutely. So I'm really conscious of wearing hats when I'm about, and I have had a black one. Actually, I've had several of them, and I've absolutely thrashed it. I have worn it I've worn it on boats. I've worn it when I'm hiking, because it's got an adjustable band on it as well, so you can tighten it to your head. So I wouldn't wear it in a gale, but you can stand on the front of a ship and have a small Titanic moment, and your hat most likely won't fall off, right? They dress up an outfit, but as I said, I've taken them hiking. Now you're in museums, you're at summer parties. They are super lightweight. They are water resistant. They've got that little band on them. If you are having a bad hair day, but you still need a photo, all you do, chuck this hat on. You are instantly fabulous, and you just got a little bit of hair outside. You just cover the absolute horror story of hair that is happening at that moment in time. Travel is not always pretty and glamorous and stuff like that, but with its hat, you're pretty damned close. Can I say Queen Mary of Denmark wears them? Can I say she is a very stylish woman? She is fantastic. So there's new colorways have just come out and released for 2026, and styles, if you want to jump onto the website and take a look at them. They retail, it is an investment for a hat. They retail between $75 and $85, but guaranteed. As I said, you're not going to leave them on the plane, and going to protect you from all of the skin cancer horrors and stuff like that. And you're going to look fabulous in all of your photos, because a hat just dresses everything up. Cannot recommend the tinaMcopenhagen.com.au. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Love it. Love it. So look, this is, I'm not giving you anything that is high tech, right? I'm talking about a suitcase, although I think that Zoom Light would argue that their suitcases are actually very high tech.
A hat that doesn't crush is high tech.
That is high tech, yeah, but I've got no cables, and I've got no cords on mine either. I am leaning on you for that one. So hit me with your next essential Christmas gift.
So, it's a universal travel adapter. I know it sounds boring, but
no, not me.
Stick with me. Much to the absolute disdain of my partner when I pack a power board in my suitcase, this little device can help with space. It can also charge your mobile devices as well around the world, so you don't need to be lugging every single plug and power pack you have with you. So it's from Basus. It is their universal travel adapter. So it works in Europe, USA, Asia, and Australia for wall outlets. It also has built into this adapter USB-C and USB-A. So that automatically eliminates your phone charger, your iPad charger, your tablet charger. If you charge headphones with a USB-C, charging things like gaming devices, so Nintendo Switch 2, your handheld gaming, Steam Decks, all of that can charge through this one travel adapter. You do not need anything else. That's pretty big for me. You can also charge your laptop. And if you have a Apple smartwatch, you can also just throw your watch on the travel adapter attachment and charge your Apple Watch. So for me, it's a game changer because I no longer need to put my 7-plug outlet into my suitcase, the big long thing.
That's really big.
This will just do it all, which, also for you, Belle, if you're traveling a lot while working, you don't need to pack your laptop charger, and all of that. You could do it all from this one adapter, and it's quite small. It's not big at all. So it is from Asus, and it's a universal travel adapter.
Awesome. So roughly how much are these ones?
Belle, there are color options if you want to go that one step further. So the 70-watt black is $48.75. The 70-watt off-white is $53.32. So you're paying a premium for your color option there. And if you want the 45-watt version, that only comes in black, and that's $60.94. It's probably good to know that you can charge up to 6 devices at the same time. So if you want to do 7, no luck. But yeah, you can do 6, which, is handy. If everyone had one of these, there's all your devices done and dusted. Probably just a little disclaimer, it's not a voltage converter. So if you did need to convert the voltage, you would need to plug that into this device first.
Right. Okay. I think they're great. I do travel with a multi adapter. What I like about these is sometimes when you're actually using the power in the seat on the flight, and they're not universal. So you've got to have an adapter with you. Like, I think that's a really clever little thing to have it. Like, it's small enough that you could have it in your bag and just whack it in on the plane if you're working on your laptop or something like that while you're traveling. That sounds like that is. I mean, these are really essential things that we use. I mean, when we're traveling, these sorts of things. These. Those translation earbuds I've never used, and they sound fantastic. But these other ones, like if you are looking for a stocking stuffer, that is a fine stocking stuffer. And I'm going to say, well, I keep calling them low tech, but they're not really. I'm going to give you another of the products that I always travel with, which is scarves. I obsess about scarves. I have the most phenomenal scarf collection, which started long before I started working in the Middle East. And they have really good scarf action. I have a number of really large format scarves. And the great thing about them is that they can be used to dress up an outfit, because for a very long time, the standard travel writer's outfit was black trousers, black shirt, and a different scarf, maybe some big earrings on there. And everybody had this, and it was just the scarf that changed. Like if you had to travel, sometimes you're doing light aircraft stuff and you could only take a 7-kilo suitcase or something, soft bag or something like that. It was all about the rotating scarf. And I've got a travel writer friend, Bev, I'm shouting out to you, who actually culls her scarves each couple of years and shares them around to her friends to give them an extra life, which I think is really lovely. Bev Malvad, shouting out to you. The scarf, the print techniques for scarves have really evolved, particularly in the last decade. We're seeing a lot of photography that's placed on large format scarves. So if you've got a scarf with a particular print on it, I did go for an Australian one because you can get, you're just taking a little piece of homeless. People might ask to have a look at your scarf, and you can say, well, actually, this is an aerial photograph of Lake Eyre, which is, of course, beautiful. Yes, stripes of different colors. Like you've got the whites, but then you've also got, at sunset, you'll have the red earth, and then the dusky purples especially if you've got water or wildflowers in them at the time whenever they're shot. So I have been crushing a little on this 100% silk scarf by a group called, you can buy it on a website called Australian Scape. And these are, they're 100% silk and just a gorgeous gift, because also remembering that silk packs down to absolutely nothing. And that's what, and that's what makes it such a great gift to give travelers, because it's also great for, it doesn't catch your skin. So it's really good for your skin if you've got it beside it for a long period of time. Photographs are taken by an Australian grazier. His name is David Taylor. And so he's flying over Australia all the time in light aircraft, remembering particularly those fixed wings fly really low to the ground. If you are hunting for stock that you've got, if you've got cattle running around in the middle of nowhere, and he started taking photos of it from the air. And then this became this series of silk scarves. They are around $150 each. This is not it's not a unique gift, but in the sense that you can get all sorts of things printed on scarves. You can get all sorts of prints from all over the world. But I just like that they were Australian landscapes that you're taking on. Yeah.
I think that was of the unique territory. I think you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. All right. So that's mine. That is my last one. What about you? Come on, hit me.
Right.
Tell me how to improve my travel life.
Okay. Well, this might not improve your travel life, but if your husband is listening, this might be for a great gift for him. I promise that she did not put me up to this. I added this of my own volition. Now it is Blackbird travel bags. Though I will admit I am a horrendous overpacker, intent on packing for every single season and situation. These are an absolute godsend. So they easily will let you pack as much as you need, and then shrink it down in your luggage. They also come in different sizes. So if you're going on a day trip, so if you're going to do a Kirsty and cycle through towns and towns and towns, you can take your swimwear, towels, all of that, because the actual pump to vacuum down the bags is tiny. I'm talking like palm of your hand tiny, and it's USB-C powered. So it also is perfect for travel, because you could team that up with your Baseus travel adapter and you're good to go.
And you
can buy many different sizes. So there are, different costs depending on what bags you need. The largest bag is $86 AU. So it's actually not a bad price, especially if you do travel regularly. You can also use them at home if you just want to, vac down your winter clothes or your summer clothes in the off season. You can do that as well. So
that's the problem, women. We're in Melbourne, so one day you're going to be wearing your winter clothes, and the next day you're going to wear your summer clothes.
You say this, and I literally last week, 2 weeks ago, packed my winter clothes, and I put them into my storage locker in my new house, which is 2 towers away, and realized that I left myself with no jackets or jumpers, and what a mistake that was.
Yes, because we just froze our chops off.
Yes, even today. Anyway, so look, will this stop me from overpacking? Definitely not. It may encourage me to do more, but it will help with my luggage limits. And I think that the thing that I'm probably most excited for is if you do go on a day trip, I fill that backpack to the brim, baby. So this would be a great little device to kind of make some more room for other things that aren't just Alaisdair's clothes, because who knows when I might need that third t-shirt.
Oh, I tell you,
Yeah.
honestly, my husband's phenomenal. So I think you're both singing from the same hymn sheet from that one. I think that would just make him absolutely pack even more. I think that's a great device because we all know that size matters, right? So, I mean, look, interestingly, I've just received a clutch of compression sacks from Zoom Light to try out. So I'm going to report back on them in a later podcast because and I'm just going to hold them up for you, Alaisdair. That's what Zoom Light's actually originally famous for. And they've got a set of 3 in there. So I'm going to give them a little run as well. Yeah, so not the vacuum pack section, but honestly, my bag becomes an absolute dog's breakfast by the end of my trips as well. So I think they're going to try to organize me a little better. And I reckon I've got a trip coming up in late February, so I'm going to give them a run for that one. So that is our 6. Have you got anything else you need to tell me?
Look, we're coming into summer, so I did want to throw in just like a bonus tip. Because I think a lot of people forget about their phones. So most phones these days, I'm going to say 99% are waterproof, which is fantastic. If, you accidentally fall in the pool or someone pushes you in as a joke, you're not going to completely lose your phone or do that thing where you have to stick it in rice. That may have worked, may have not. I'm on the
Yeah, no, it didn't work. Didn't work for you.
So look, it's great, but when they are submerged, water gets inside, and look, it can take hours for them to dry out before you can charge them again. So if that happens when you're on low battery, your phone's probably going to die. I also have concerns about wanting to keep the phones for longer. So if you're having water inside them regularly, it's not great for their longevity.
Mm.
So before you jump into that lazy river or dive deep into the Maldives with Belle, grab one of these. They work really well at home and abroad. I did put a link in the show notes to one that I recommend from Taurus. Basically, it is like a lanyard that you get at a festival. Now, stick with me. You can put your phone in here, but it also has touch access. So even if your fingers are wet, you can still press the buttons through the fabric and use your phone as normal, which is fantastic. That's what you want. You can also put your earbuds in here, your keys.
What?
And
Really?
bonus, it floats.
Oh, what?
So if you want to go to the lazy river at Wet and Wild, you can have this tied to your arm or around your neck and float down that river, baby, and not be concerned about your devices. They will be kept dry and intact in one of these. I think it's something that's gaining more traction. I've seen a lot of travel bloggers using these recently and saying that they will now no longer travel without them because it's also a great replacement for a bag if you're having a beach day or a water day and you don't want to lug stuff around with you or you have to put stuff in lockers. You can still have your phone and some essentials with you as well.
I think you've got to check though too whether or not it fits your phone as well because they do come in different sizes, don't they? I mean, when I was cheap, yep, yeah.
Yep,
So I've got a Samsung. Sorry, this the one that I took a look at because I went and had a little squeeze on it for you. So this one was about $33, which is brilliant value, I think. And that fit, it just said a Samsung Galaxy and a Galaxy Z Fold as well as the iPhones. So, because that's the problem with a lot of that waterproof housing in the past. You had to buy it very specific for the phone that you had. And then if you lost that phone 10 seconds later or somebody nicked it from you in London, then, I mean, you've lost the housing or you take the housing off. You just have to chuck that housing away because it dated when the phone's dated as well. Yeah. But it's essentially like a Ziploc bag, isn't it? Like a heavy.
Essentially, yeah, just a little bit better quality. And I guess if you're not iPhone like me or Samsung with Belle, it also covers a lot of other brands. So Google Pixels are all in there as well, from the 2 right through to the 10. The Sony Xperias, the Asus ROG phones, Huawei and Oppo, OnePlus, and Xiaomi are there as well.
Oh, wow.
And 2 color options, black or white, which is great. I'm a white person when it comes to accessories. And look, if you've got Amazon Prime, they're currently on sale for $41.13. They're usually $54.85 for the white or $39.48 for the black. Gosh.
No. Yeah, I think I gave you the US dollar price. I mentioned the US dollar price earlier, which is brilliant because I'm always a bit fearful of these, but I actually did see quite a lot of people using them in the Maldives recently, and they were selling them at the dive shops.
Yeah.
And everybody was swearing that it was fine. I mean, I was relying on some GoPro footage that the hotel had been shooting. So I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm a bit scared, but I reckon having seen them now in action, I think I'm going to come good with them. Yeah, awesome suggestions. I mean, I did think until this, all I wanted for Christmas was a new power bank, but I'm going to change it to that little cracker of a Taurus cell cover, like waterproof Ziploc bag for my phone. I'm gonna change it. Look, I'm such a cheap date, honestly. So awesome. All right, brilliant. So we're going to put those all in the show notes. We'll throw some photos up. Take a look on socials as well, because we will put a flat lay of all of the images that we chose. We are next week kicking off our summer series, some of our favorite interviews from the past year. So you can kick back in the pool with your newly covered phone for some evening listening from around the world. So thanks so much, Alaisdair, for joining us. Gorgeous to have you on.
Thanks for having me. Have a great Christmas and New Year, everyone.
And you'll see us again next week. And Alaisdair, we'll see you back in the background. And it will defrost you next Christmas, just like Mariah Carey.
I will take that mantle.
That's a wrap for The World Awaits this week. Click to subscribe anywhere you listen to your favourite pods.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.